start?
Yeah.
Valorant is coming out. What do I do? I got you, bro.
If you're serious about improving and want to get the best out of yourself, then here are my 5 tips to do just that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. Number 1. Establish an aim training regime. Aim is extremely important in FPS games. You could have the biggest brain in the world, but if you're not able to convert that into frags, then it's all wasted. Luckily, it's rather easy to improve. You just need discipline and a good regime. I'd say aim is split into 6 core components. There might be more, but anyway, these are flicking, the ability to swipe your mouse from its origins onto the enemy target. Tracking, keeping your crosshair on the enemy target as they are moving. Speed, how fast you can perform these skills. Reaction time, how fast you can respond to the enemy running into your crosshair. Precision, is your aim accurate? Information processing, the enemies are doing something. What do you want to do in return? Building each of these will improve your skill ceiling massively. They'll also improve your muscle memory, which is a fundamental skill when it comes to aiming. It's like an unbreakable elastic band. Training it will stretch this band, but as soon as you take a day off, the band will loosen. You need to constantly train it. Here's 2 guys I've made about improving your aim. I've recently started using aim labs as well, and I'm enjoying that too. Number 2, find people to 5-stack with. Solo queue in the beta felt like a coin toss of whether I'd get good teammates or not. You'll need to carry, and unfortunately sometimes it's just not enough. So to avoid that, you can play with your friends or add people you enjoyed playing with along the way. Ranked isn't getting released straight away, so you have plenty of time to get a squad going. That's what I'm gonna do. If that doesn't work out, then you can try other ways like Discord. I just did some browsing and this website seems to have some busy Discord servers listed. I'll put it down below. Also remember, you can't play with people 2 ranks above or below you, but it doesn't really matter now because ranked isn't out for 2 more weeks, so play to your heart's content. Number 3, learn important Molotov spots. Doing this will give you an advantage versus your opponent and you'll be less limited on what you can do, both attacking and defending. Let's say you know where the enemy is playing, but it's rather awkward trying to kill them because of crossfires, etc. Having a Molotov lineup to flush them out of position and into your crosshair is extremely effective. Another advantage is when your team is running onto the bomb site, they don't have to check the angle because it's been mollied. You can use them for after plants too. Say you're last alive and the bomb has been planted. Having the lineup can safely buy you enough time to stop the enemies from defusing, meaning you win the round. Yay. When defending, Molotovs can completely stop an enemy's push, meaning your teammates have time to rotate over and support you. You can also use them when retaking the site back. Hey, you'll never know when you need it, and it might just win you the game. I've already done the hard work in finding these. Yay! And I'll be releasing videos for each map before ranked mode comes out. Number 4, play agents that are the best in solo queue. Now, this is very map specific, and to be honest, you can play whatever agent you want if you're good. On the last day of beta, I played 6 games of Jet in a row and carried every single game. Actually, let me rename this. Number 4. Test out all the agents and find the best one for you. Once you get into competitive play, then it all changes anyway. The most efficient way to test an agent is by already knowing roughly what to do to begin with. For example, Cypher. You need to know the best places to put your camera, wires and traps when defending. If you don't know this, then what are you practicing? Also, find a way to be useful when attacking too. An example of this is using a camera to get information around a corner before peeking it yourself. Using your cages to deny info to the enemy team. You could block off an area that you could cross or not, like depending on what you want to do. Or like Viper for instance. She can set up executes all by herself with her kit. She also can do one-way smokes for the defending side. If you don't know what one-ways are, it's like when you can see your opponent but they can't see you. Each agent has a set of skills that will work better in certain positions on each map. So depending on what positions you like could determine what agents you should play. Then Playstyle comes into action. Are you an aggressive player? Then I'd say don't play Sage or Brimstone as the utility is more useful when executing or defending. Try out Jet because she's an agent that allows you to play aggressive because of her dash. It's like oh I forked up, yeet, see ya, and then she's out, you know. There are a lot of points to think about when testing an agent, but there's also no harm in trying stuff for fun. I mean, don't do it in my ranked games though, I swear. Number 5, learn the basics of every map. This might seem obvious, but I imagine many of you don't know the basics. Here's a test. Do you know the best ways to utilize smokes to abuse the enemy? Do you know how to put pressure on the map safely? Do you know the best places to go for a pick? Do you know what to do if you get a pick? Do you think about what agent is playing where? Each map is different and getting the basics down will improve your skills dramatically. That wasn't even all the basics. But anyway, here's a quick overview of each map to help you out. Alright, so we're starting with Split. Now bear with me, I'm doing this live. Now in Split, The setup normally is 1 on B, 2 towards B upper, 1 in A tower, and 1 on A site. Each one of these positions can contest and push further up, but this is like the general basis of this. So, as an attacker, where do you think the best place to smoke is? I often tell my teammates now to not smoke rope room, but actually smoke here. Because generally, the person in rope room doesn't really use a lot of utility if they're smoked off, because they got info from these guys. So what the best thing for me, I'd say to do, is to smoke here, which denies these guys vision, and they're kind of forced to use their utility. For instance, if the A tower guy rotated around to here and he was here and you smoked this off, if he faces, you could have someone posted up with an AWP here, and if he peeks, he's pretty much dead. Meanwhile, these guys in B tower have no vision, and it's normally like a Sage or a Breach or a, I don't know, a Raze. One of these guys will play there, so they're most likely, if it's a Sage, especially in solo queue, it's normally like Sages, she'll end up using her slow in here, and the Sage slow is really important. If you're lucky, you get a slow, you get another slow, and you get the wall as well. So she's used all her utility. Her not having this utility is really important. This is what split's like. You just have to burn their utility. Now generally Cypher plays B, so he'll have his little tripwire here, maybe a cage here as well, and he'll just play out of line of sight with a camera up here. The normal camera setup is like putting them on these big 2 white tubes, because it's like a really good angle, and it means you have to like step to here just to kill it. So yeah, going to a Cypher's place is kind of hard. So the 2 positions that you should be pressuring are mid with this smoke, and you can also pressure A with this smoke. Generally, if a sniper plays here, you can kind of face. It's kind of like very advantageous for you. I normally do this face with a rifle or a sniper, and I normally face and I take the kill. If I don't take the kill, he falls back to up in A tower, and if you smoke here, it denies vision for this guy as well. So now this guy can't rotate to middle, which means the B tower guys can't get any vision, which means they use utility, and it allows you to make some lurky play. I think that's how you play split. It's a battle of utility. It's got quite thin corners, so everything can be smoked off to deny the enemy vision, and mid control and A control is probably the most important. Now you can get into more detail. Say you smoked off this area and you've got a guy here. This pressures the A tower guys, so the A site guy is now on his own, and the A site guy could be here, 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 up on the ledge here as well. So the A site guy, or here, so the A site guy has lots of positions he can be in. You've gotten this control. The A tower guy can't support him, so now you can execute A in solo queue. You can just be like, guys, let's go A, or you can just walk in there yourself and try and pressure him. But then you also have to think, in solo queue, this guy is definitely rotating around to here or to here, so there's also that pressure. But if you keep this smoked, you can get quite a lot of pressure and get through here, go for the lurk as well. So there's a lot of possibilities in solo queue to abuse. If you wanted to then do an execute, you smoke here, boom, you can smoke here because you've got quite a lot of control. You can smoke from here as Brimstone, so you've got 2 smokes and you can pressure the site. If you wanted to add a little extra, you can Molotov here, you can Molotov on here, and you can Molotov in here as well. So there's a lot of things you can do. That's the basics of split. Go try it out, I guess. Alright, next up is bind. Now generally in competitive play, you actually tend to play 2 towards A, kind of like a retake, or you can play kind of aggressive. You kind of mix it up and you actually play 3 towards B. However, in solo queue, what I find is people play 3 towards A and 2 towards B. So let's play towards that. What can you do? Now, putting pressure towards B long is really good in solo queue. If you can get all the way up to B, you can take aggressive faces onto here, onto here. You can clear out here. Like, you can be really aggressive once you get here, and also you can get the orb, which obviously is really helpful. The orbs are really important in this game because orbs mean ultimates, and ultimates are really broken. Raise one, oh my goodness, don't get me started on that. In terms of what to take control of, B-long is really good. Hooker is really good. Hooker's quite easy to take as well. It generally, you don't die from it if you do take it safely, with like a smoke here from, I don't know, Viper, or just a breach flash or breach stun, you know. A raised robot is really good because it can like bounce against all the walls. So yeah, pressuring B is really good, and also pressuring B would mean then you rotate one of the A guys over, so now they've got 3 on site somewhere. You can actually do contact plays, which means walking in on a site without using any utility, so you're just taking a battle. And the common aim battle used is generally either towards B long or up middle. Now once you get to here and middle, generally enemies will play here, they'll play here, maybe some here, or here, and also here. Oh, and here. So there's 6 spots that the enemies can play. All of them are fairly nice angles, and it means that if the enemy gets caught with their pants down, you can surprise them really nicely. So that's a contact play that you can do on bind. Pretty basic. You can do that on by yourself really if you got balls, but your teammates might be mad if you walk in, and it's always good to be like, yo guys, come with me, let's do this. Also, you have to think about what happens when you go through a portal. So say I go through the B teleporter. Here I am. Yay, I'm yeeting through. Woohoo. I'm there now. Enemies will tend to rotate all the way to A. It's really weird. When I watch like professional games and people use the portal, enemies just tend to rotate towards A. So what you can do is like kind of like go through the portal and run all the way back to B. I don't know if that's a thing, but it could be a thing. You've got the generic A smoke, so you normally put one on the truck here, brimstone smoke, and you put one here. So you got 2 smokes covering the site, brimstone's molly in there to stop enemies from pushing. And then what you can do on top of that, you put the sage wall down, boom, you can get an easy plant. Well, that is if the enemy don't throw utility at you. I'd say these are the basics of bind, taking control and then just doing an execute from that. And you can do one-man executes. If you're brimstone on bind, I'd say it's pretty strong. You can coordinate and execute all by yourself, and your little solo queue teammates just have to run in. As long as you know where the enemies kind of play, you can make plays. Alright, so what I tend to do if you get a kill on B is the enemies run to here, they probably rotate to here, and they try and get on site. But let's say you kill this guy, so this guy's now dead. Bye-bye. In elbow. Instead of taking the site, you stop rotation. So you run around to here and you face this angle. The amount of kills I get doing this in solo queue is mad. No one expects it. Like, everyone expects there's one guy on a site, like they can't be elbowed. Or like, I don't know, they don't think about it, and you face them and you just own them. Yeah, let's say that's fine. Pretty cool. Alright, last one, Haven. It's very pug style. Enemies would generally play here, one here, and maybe 2 here. Let's say this is the general setup. Sometimes you might have only 1A if it's a Cypher, and if it's just a Cypher on his own, you can really abuse him, and they'll play like, I don't know, 2 towards B, or 1 kind of like hovering between B and C. That's generally what they do. Say the enemy guy, he's like, he walks up to here and he posts up here, he gets all this information. So this is huge information. It means the guy on A short can then be like, bye, and he starts rotating off. So how do you deny that guy the information? With the basic smoke, Cypher cage, or any sort of utility, or flash him off. And if you smoke this off, now you can cross to here, which is huge. It then means that this guy who is now here has to go, oh damn, I gotta go back to here. And this guy kind of has to fall off now and play a more defensive positioning. By doing this, it opens up the site. This is the basics of Haven. 1 smoke can change the whole play of everything. Now that's for attacking. Now for defending, what you can do is if you have a raise, for instance, or a sage or a brimstone, you actually use your utility to cut off the window, which means they can't get any early information of whether you've pushed out middle. The only information they can get whether you've pushed out middle is by a guy on the attacking side running around here and taking this side. But whilst he's doing that, this guy could be pressuring in garage. He can do a flash here, or he can do a weird, I don't know, smoke or face or slow, and then this allows the B side guy to run down here and get into a really good position. Using your utility is really important on Haven, and also you have to understand that generally all positions only have 1 person playing them. So the B window guy dies, the guy faces here and he's dead. This allows you to go up to here. It also allows you to go into here, which then pressures this guy on site. He now has to be like this, watching this angle, but then it also allows you to come up through here now because he has to play more passive and he has to be careful of that. This guy would then have to rotate to here. This short guy now has to rotate it to B. So like B guy's rotated, this guy's now here, this guy's here on his own. It opens up a massive opportunity, and these are the basics. If you're getting a kill on this map, prepare for rotations, and if they're rotating, it means you have a timing opportunity. If you get into this cubby, you can push through here, you can push through here. There'll be timings, they're like really precise timings where you can get into positions, so then you lurk up to the next position and kill the enemy with their pants down that's rotating, or kill the enemy with their pants down that doesn't expect you to come now because all their teammates are saying like this, they have garage control, they could be running up C, so they're getting distracted, and that's when you can take advantage on attacking side. They're not really basics actually. The basics are just knowing where the enemies play and knowing how to deal with certain champions that play in the certain positions. But yeah, these are like little cheeky things that I know, and I don't know, I find interesting, so maybe you find it interesting too. But yeah, Haven allows for a lot of abuse to happen essentially because it's such an open map and the defenders are so split, so it allows you to take advantage of that. However, the defenders can do that as well, so the best place I think to push for a defender is A, if you can get into here, or if you can get into here, it just means a lot of information. You probably get a free kill and then maybe get trade frags or like 2 kills. If the attackers decide to like push up on C or push up on mid, you have a really fast rotation to wherever to stop them. So pushing is really effective on Haven as well. Information is key, and rotations are so long. Look how long it takes for A guy to get to C, or he can go through this way, which is slightly quicker. But if he doesn't want to make footsteps when he's running, and kind of like footsteps are really important in this game as well, because if you can hear someone rotating, it's like so much information because it allows the person lurking to make a play. So I think I've gone a bit too wild on this video here, but if you're liking it, you're liking it. Yeah, I think we're done with Haven for now. There's a lot to learn and prepare. I can't wait to break the current meta and be the best team in Valorant, but for now, I'll just wait for it to be released. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.